Lap 92 was the last pit stop, so get ready for the next one with an AT&T race break. Here's Chris and Jeff.
Thanks, Mike. Kyle Busch ahead of Kurt Busch. And, of course, Kurt Busch so good on this type of track, Jeff. His last 3 wins, similar layouts. Atlanta and then Atlanta of the previous year, Texas last fall.
Well, I think right now Kurt Busch is settled in and saying, okay, brother, you want to lead this race, go ahead. I think you're going to see him just kind of play a little cat and mouse, kind of keep his car into what I consider comfort zone, make the right adjustments as we go along. You've already heard about Larry and Darrell talking about as we go into the twilight, making the proper adjustments. And some teams need to make big swings. I look for them to make, pulling rubbers out, maybe putting a rubber in, big adjustments to the track bar, Chris, to try to get their cars back in the hunt early on. They can't afford to keep losing ground. Take a look right here at Jimmy Johnson, currently 4th. This is one of the guys, and his crew chief, I think, do the best job of making the right adjustments at the right time.
Jimmy Johnson, remember, dominated Dover, leading 225 laps, but had the speeding penalty on pit road. Led the most laps of the All-Star race, but spun late. So do those things enter the mental part of this race, knowing there's a long haul to go, 400 miles?
It better not be. You better be focused on what you're doing today. Don't worry about what happened in the past. We take a look here at Jamie McMurray. Ganassi Racing's best hope for us getting to victory lane this afternoon and doing basically the double here Memorial Day weekend, and winning the Indy 500 and coming back and winning the prestigious Coca Cola 600.
Yeah, Jamie McMurray with Chip Ganassi in that Indy and Daytona 500 as we get ready for pit stops. Cast your vote all season long for the AT&T fastest pit crew of the year as Greg Biffle comes in. Your AT&T phone is where you want to text to 2258, delivered by AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. And let's check in with Steve Burns.
Chris, Greg Biffle in his 16 saying that his car is still a little bit loose. Matt.
The 43 of Allmendinger's in, as well as the 12 of Keselowski. He pulls to a stop. He was running 9th, took 2 tires for track position, but then started to drop all the way to 19th. His car way loose on entry and extremely loose on exit.
Tony Stewart's in, Ryan Newman to the pit lane. All the Hendrick cars coming, along with Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth, Elliott Sadler. Matt.
The Army car started on the pole, then made a track position 2-tire stop earlier on, and then the car started to falter. They're going to go back on their adjustments. Tony Gibson's going to shuffle the air pressures. 4 tires on this stop. Ryan didn't want them to go too big on their adjustment, wanting to see how the car felt in the twilight with 4 tires.
Martin Truex is in, Harvick, Menard, Casey Kane, Regan Smith. Krista.
You guys mentioned big changes. How about this for taking a swing? The 56 is going to go up on the track bar. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. Matt.
Harvick hit pit road in the 14th position. His car tight on this last run. Air pressure change for the 29.
Marcus Ambrose, Clint Boyer, Joey Logano, and Jeff Burton pitting. Steve.
Clint Boyer into the 33. Now earlier his car was loose. Now he's saying tight in and tight from the center off. They'll make air pressure adjustments to the left side. Car has gotten tight.
Robbie Gordon, Kyle Busch, along with Sam Hornish and Jimmy Johnson, all making pit stops. Matt.
A track bar change, 2 stops to go for Kyle Busch. Dave Rogers was asking, what do you want this stop, wedge or track bar? He called from the cockpit. He wanted a track bar change on the 18. A little too free, Steve.
Matt Tessie adjustment for Jimmy Johnson, and this time he takes 4 tires. The last 2 stops, they've taken 2. Said his car had gotten tight.
Bill Elliott, Kurt Busch, David Rudiman coming to the pit lane, along with David Gilliland and Denny Hamlin. Dick.
David Rudiman asked the crew to take the adjustment out of the back end that they had put in the last time. He has run in the top 5 all night. Rudiman with a strong car. Krista.
Kurt Busch is a little tight in, little loose off. Steve Addington said, let's make a small track bar adjustment. Kurt Busch said, I like the way that sounds.
Kevin Conway makes his stop, waiting on the leader, Jamie McMurray. He will be the last of the cars in this sequence to pit. Here he comes toward Dick Bergman.
Well, Jamie McMurray's big worry, Mike, is that he has got a problem with the tachometer. On the last pit stop, it flashed yellow-red. Those colors tell a driver whether he is speeding or not on pit road. They also had a pit stop last time around they weren't at all happy with, so they're looking for more speed this time on McMurray, car number 1.
Now his owner, Chip Ganassi, has a chance to do the Memorial Day triple. He won the Indy 500 earlier today. If McMurray wins, Ganassi is favored at Lime Rock Park tomorrow in the Grand Am Daytona prototype. Scott Pruitt, Memo Rojas going for their 4th win in a row. So it's already a big weekend for Chip Ganassi. Could get a lot bigger.
Well, and already he's won the Daytona 500 and the Indy 500 in the same year. That is amazing, guys.
Doesn't get any better than that.
That's incredible.
Now that it's cycled through the green flag pit stops, this is a battle for 3rd. We're riding with Jimmy Johnson in the 48, looking back at David Rudeman. But who the real winner was on that cycle of green flag stops? Our leader, Kyle Busch, up by 6 seconds over Brother Kurt.
The Coca Cola 600 on Fox is sponsored by Napa. Napa Know-How. By Papa John's, where your recipe and our ingredients could earn you pizza for life. And by the A-Team. June 11th, only in theaters.
Buddy, give you about the tug here. Long, long day here, buddy.
157 laps complete in the Coca-Cola 600. 243 to go. And Kyle Busch's lead has shrunk by about a second. Older brother Kurt starting to run him down. It's about 5.2 seconds now from Kyle's Toyota back to Kurt's Dodge, then Jimmy Johnson's Chevrolet. And the highest Ford is Greg Biffle. Scrape or not, he's up there in 8th place. Of that lead pack, quickest car on the racetrack right now is Kurt Busch, running just over 30 seconds flat as he chases down the leader, and as Jimmy Johnson in the 48 fills up Kurt's rearview mirror. Jeff Burton and Joey Logano have been going at it all night long. This time it's for 9th place.
And if you don't work on your car every time it comes to pit road, pretty soon you won't be in this race. You have got to constantly be making adjustments on your car to keep up with the racetrack.
Now we just had our 2nd set of green flag pit stops, and when it had all cycled out, we talked about Kyle Busch having such a lead. Now what we have here, this will be the 2 laps including the pit stop on pit road. We're going to do a little comparison here. Look at Kyle Busch in the 18 team. 1:43.6 seconds on those 2 laps including the stop. Now remember, he and his brother Kurt Busch, they were racing each other before those green flag stops, and Matt, you can see right there Kyle Busch beat Kurt by 3 seconds on that stop.
Let's get a word with the leader's crew chief. Here's Matt.
And Mike, Dave Rogers took a look at the tires that just came off the 18 machine. We're in the twilight section here. Dave, how much has this racetrack changed since the drop of the green flag to now?
I think we're about to go through our first big transition right here. We set our M&M Toyota camera up really free, and Kyle did a good job hanging on to it. We've still been tightening every stop, but I expect to be cranking up real soon.
All right, thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Dave Rogers is new to the top of the pit box for Kyle Busch this year. He came out of the Nationwide Series for Kyle and cut his teeth up at Thunder Road, Ken Squire's little short track in Vermont. As 2nd place is at stake, the deuce of Kurt Busch, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, and the 00 David Rudeman.
Yeah, the 2 just went into 2nd. Well, he's trying to go into 2nd place. It's not a gimme, that's for sure.
While those guys are going side by side, David Rudeman in that 00 that you just mentioned, Mike, look how close he's pulling up to those guys.
Robbie Gordon up top, Sam Hornish on the bottom, and no clear way through for the rest of the leaders.
But Kurt Busch ran that high line through turn 2 off the corner that time, and he prevailed down the back straightaway.
Got a lot of traffic here they're having to work through. But you know, Larry, I think that David Rudeman in that 00 car has got a lot of motivation tonight. I think he really comes in here wanting to prove that, you know, I won this race last year, and I'm the defending champion, and I'm going to defend my championship.
Of course, that was a rain-shortened race.
Tampa, Florida native, his dad, Buzzy Rudeman, one of the all-time modified greats, as Robbie Gordon just got enough paint off the wall.
Got the wall a little bit, guys, on the right side. Still rolling.
Messed up our camera shot a bit.
But Mike, they just got too much paint on the wall. That's the problem.
That's it.
Dadgum.